Hey everyone, Charles here. And first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, good morning. Hey, you guys doing? Welcome to Jump. The weather is, I don't know, I think it's the weather that's getting me feeling this way. My throat's going, it's rainy outside, but we're going to heat it up inside the Jump podcast show. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Jump is all about helping you get to the next level. And I have my special guest coming on soon that's going to tell you, hey, once you get to that level, you're making that money. What do you do with this money? How do you get this thing popping off better? So stay tuned, relax, and listen to Jump. We're going to get started right here. So tell a friend, let them know you're listening to Jump Podcast on the Podbean Live Network. Here we go.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy? Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness? Doing what they love and living the good life. So get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
So yes, good morning. And this is your first time. I'd like to say welcome once again. Now, it is difficult to understand how we get to certain places in our lives and what we do and how we get there. So hopefully my next guest on the show will help us with a lot of questions that needs to be answered. So, hey, Hadriana, are you there?
Hey, Charles, I'm here. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
So, question is background. I know a lot of my guests, we've been promoting this for a while, and they're like, okay, who is she? What does she do? What's her background? So tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, my goodness. You know how everybody thinks their story is just ordinary? Mine pretty much is. I'm the humdrum Caribbean girl. I was born in St. Lucia, lovely place to live. And every year about this time, I ask myself, why did I come to Canada? It's cold up here. But yeah, there are lots of reasons why many of us choose to leave the country of our birth. And that was a choice I made as a young adult to come and move to Canada and create something, create a legacy. Kind of change the trajectory a little bit for the next generation. And that was the start of what continues to be an extraordinary journey. One full of a lot of challenges. I don't want to call them difficulties necessarily, but challenges. And the challenges won't stop, but I digress. I remember when I was in St. Lucia at the time, I was teaching high school. IT, math, and some literature. And I came to Canada and I couldn't get a job, Charles. I was the person that was calling people right at about dinner time. My shift started at 5:30 and we went till about 9 o'clock asking people if they wanted to buy duct cleaning. And you know how that goes over.
Oh my Lord, okay.
Because, you got to do something, right? You're not going to sit twiddling your thumbs waiting for what you think is the job worthy of you. My husband and I moved and we had to hustle. So I learned just about every swear word in the Canadian lexicon in that time.
Yep.
But I can say without a doubt that it was a big learning curve for me coming to Canada. And one of the things that I learned in this country of plenty, in this country where so many opportunities abound, one of the things I learned was that you don't just automatically get welcomed to the table where these discussions happen. You don't just get told, oh yeah, this is how I made it and this is how you can make it too. So my husband and I learned a lot of lessons through our own efforts to get to understand things. And that meant failing, that meant falling, but that also meant having lessons imprint on your mind to such a degree that you're not making those mistakes again. So coming out of all of those experiences, currently, I work as a money navigator. I think the easiest term to explain what I do would be a financial coach. But because I do it differently, I wanted to name it differently, especially it's not a regulated field and people wonder, well, what is it that you do? So I came out of the regulated field, having put myself at the table where a lot of things were being discussed. I was a financial advisor, traditional advisors doing the investing, the stocks, all of that good stuff, which really is exciting. I have to say, I love it. And selling insurance and all that stuff. And I stepped away from that because I realized a few things, but I'll tell you, I realized that the things that really have people thriving and living a life that's full and rich are not found in the stocks that they hold. It's not found in the insurance policies that they hold. It's not found in how much money they actually have. The things that give us a life that's full and rich are impacted more by the day-to-day decisions that we make around money. And I'm not just talking about how you spend it. You're talking about how you earn it. We're also talking about why you're earning it the way you do and why you're spending it the way you do. I'm talking about stuff going down to the roots. My coach keeps reminding me that I'm not a therapist.
Okay, yes, okay.
A lot of times people don't match that up with money, but in actuality, that's how deep my conversations go with my clients. Because listen, go ahead.
I'm just listening to you, but I'm just thinking, do you think we are more conscious about money now than we are back then, or do you think we are still spenders?
Listen, we're earners and spenders. And I think that's one of the things that kind of throws people for a loop. We're earning way more than anyone has earned in history. Like, seriously, we're making tons more money, but we're also spending tons more money. So I don't know if it is that we're more conscious about it now, but I certainly think it's something we have been exposed to more. We have been exposed to more that helps us understand that how much money you have does not define your character or who you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because back in the day, the rich guy on the hill, he must be a really good man. Or the rich guy on the hill must be a really evil man. Depending on your culture, it's one or the other, usually. Mm-hmm. So it's either good fortune gets you there, or you shredded people on your way to the top. People and money have always had this love-hate relationship, and we have assigned moral value to not just money, but to the people that hold on to it. And that, I think, we need to be more aware of and kind of put money where money belongs. It's just printed paper. In our case in Canada, it's printed plastic. It has no brain to think for itself. It cannot be good or bad. It just is, So we need to step away from that.
So let me ask you this, because I've been all over your website, and it says here, I help professional women, couples, and successful entrepreneurs who say to themselves, I make money, but.
Yes.
But I like the reason I'm going to this directly, the first thing you say is women and couples and successful entrepreneurs. You put women by itself. Why?
I'm very deliberate to do that. And I kid around when I say I don't typically work with men because I'll have to charge them more because they're a different beast.
Okay.
And I'm saying that to an international audience. I can just imagine the backlash in the next little while about who does she think she is. I'll tell you why. For one thing, in my traditional advisory experience, when I worked with men, when I had to advise a man who does not know me, who does not trust me, I have to overcome a number of barriers to win that trust. There's something about men and money, and it goes back, I think, to the fact that men are providers traditionally, and we are brought up in most cultures to know that men provide and they take care of that. So having counsel on money, which is the direct currency that we use to provide for our families, having that counsel coming from a woman who should traditionally be in the backseat with money, that's always makes the job a lot more difficult. So no, I work with men, but I primarily work with women because I think women in the financial services space, especially when it comes to personal finance, are underestimated. They are undervalued in that space and they're underserved. And I saw it as an advisor and it really just messes with my head. I hate it, Charles. I hate it.
Okay, so then
as a woman who understands the space, I really take it as part of my mission to empower other women to be confident in the space.
Okay, but then I'm going to jump to the next one. You said couples. So I'm assuming the husband's in on this one now.
Yep, in whatever form, whatever shape or form your couplehood comes, I will work with couples because couples impact families and couples impact legacy. So if I'm dealing with a woman who is single, I'm dealing with a woman who has the capacity to create the next generation, to impact the next generation. Okay. If I'm dealing with a woman who has coupled herself to a spouse, they together have to impact the next generation. So when I'm talking money, I want to create impact, not just in the present, but legacy, which goes generation to generation. So I'm happy to deal with couples. Usually it's the woman that initiates, though, I have to say, the couples that I have worked with.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
It's just a thing.
Because you said before, the men are difficult, so that's what I'm saying. But then you're going back to couples. So how do you say to the men, okay, look, I'm going to try to teach you how to spend your money with your wife, or how to save it, or how to deal with it? That's got to be a challenge.
It's a challenge, but then I approach it from a very different angle. So one, with the woman initiating the contact, the woman in every couple that I've worked with, it's the woman who reaches out to me and says, I really need help. Can you come in and help us? So that's one. And then the way I do my coaching, I'm not actually, in fact, across all aspects of who I work with, I don't actually tell you how to spend your money. Me, as I work as a guide. I put on all the professional knowledge that I have, but I use that as a guide for you. I don't tell you how to spend. So I don't actually go in there and say, hey, this is how you spend your money. And especially with couples, my approach is your wife is seeking help. Your wife has reached out to me for help. What can we do together? Because that's a different approach. Now, it's not that I am buttering anything up to make it more palatable to go down, but you win. Yeah, what is it? You attract more flies with molasses than vinegar. I think something like that is the saying.
Yeah.
But absolutely, I go in knowing that if I'm going to help this family, I cannot go in with a hammer or a mallet to pound them over the head. And I see that so much in personal finance. I mean, there's TV shows that talk about you being a moron. How is that helping? Like, seriously, who is that helping if the premise is you're obviously an idiot, let me go in there and smarten you up? That's not an approach I think is helpful. But if we can, first of all, establish that the couple is a team, that you're working together towards a common goal. And I'll tell you honestly, if I get any inkling that there's dysfunction in that relationship, I'm out. I won't do it. It has to be a relationship where, at the very minimum, there is mutual respect for each other, and there's some sort of love. They have to at least be able to look at each other, and you can feel something pass in the air. It's not just bleh. I don't know
So,
how you spell bleh, but there has to be something in the relationship that says we're building together.
so you're telling me it's not just easy. Just take out the credit cards and cut them in half.
No, actually, I don't recommend that at all. No, 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 no. That doesn't fix anything, because you're
Okay.
going to need one. You're going to need one for something. Like, how are you booking your hotel when I recommend that you take a weekend away? I'm
Mm.
not putting my credit card out to book your weekend away. No, you're going to need these instruments, and I don't want anyone fearing those instruments. They are very good when used properly.
Okay.
So
So let's.
my job is to get them set up properly.
So it's not just you coming in saying, okay, stop spending money on jelly beans and stop spending money on a box of chocolates. It's more of a mind and money spending go hand in hand.
Absolutely. The why of what you're doing. I remember working with this one lady. She's single, and she actually has no kids. And I'll tell you, she's Caucasian. And I thought it was only Black women that spent a lot of money on hair. I'm just
Right.
saying, this client was spending about $400 in one visit. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, can you explain what was going on there? And she explained the challenges. And this is legit. She has challenges with her hair. So she goes to this specific salon where the hairdresser knows her hair, understands how to do it, and she walks away happy and satisfied every time. You might not get it, Charles, but I get it. I get it. I
Okay,
get
because
it.
I'm bald as an eagle, so I'm just trying to think, putting $400 in my head. That $400
Yes.
pays my car insurance. That $400
Uh-huh.
pays for, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as you said it, my brain automatically went to all the things I can pay
Yep.
with the $400. And how long
Yes,
is it a
and
week
that's the
for?
thing.
Is that a 2-week haircut? Is it a month haircut?
No, she goes every quarter or so. So every 3 months or so, she would be spending that. So about $100 a month, a hundred and some odd a month, was committed to hair on average. And I worked it in. I sat with her. I understood why she was doing that. And we worked it in because it was important. You know how you feel when you look good, Charles? You know how you feel when you just got it together?
I
Um,
I get it. It's just the money spending is just it's just
so that and that's, I think that's what bothers a lot of people. Like, why would you let somebody spend $300 on hair? Well, she has it. Why cut it up, or why force her not to use it? What we did simply was reallocate other things that were not priority items, things that did not make her heart sing, things that did not register or move the needle for her. So there were things she didn't need. Her car was already very efficient. She did not spend very much on gas at all. So we took down on some of the furniture that she had plans on purchasing, and we moved some of that money to her savings, right? So she already had some efficiencies in her spending plan. And we also talked about getting some more money from work because she was due for a raise. We talked about having that conversation, what that conversation would be like, what it sounds like, and why we should man up or woman up and go in there and ask for the raise. It's not always about what we're spending. So there's two sides to the coin.
so you're saying sometimes we know that we deserve extra money coming in, but we are too hesitant, scared to go ask our boss for that extra overtime, for that extra money that we think that we know we've been putting in.
Absolutely. And again, it's all tied into the feelings, perspectives that we have deep rooted into how we look at money. Yes, you are due for a raise. It isn't even as if you're going begging. A lot of times, I meet clients who have been working the same job for the same pay for years. No word of a lie, and haven't even gotten the incremental inflationary matching that most companies have as a standard. But we don't want to ask, we don't want to have the conversation. And unfortunately, that means we're leaving money on the table. So we kind of need, you remember, I don't know about you, but when I was brought up, the whole premise was get a good education, get a good job, and you stay in that job until you retire, then you get to live it up. I mean, you
Yeah,
scrimp and save
you
all
don't
your
go
life.
You don't
You
go
don't go
anywhere.
anywhere,
You
man.
just stay where you are.
You
Because
have
why?
no life.
No, why take a chance when you have a job? You're lucky to have the job and move forward.
That's right. Until they let you go or they fire you, for the younger person who does more work than you and costs them less, or until you're ill, or until I remember one of the tipping experiences for me before I gave up my financial advisory work was a client that retired. He was still fairly young. He worked at a company that allowed them to retire once you put in 30 years. So he was in his mid 50s and he came in to retire with a healthy 7-figure package. It was a good company. Healthy 7-figure package. And we got him all set up, prepared his retirement plan, got his investments set up, and his retirement was ready to go. And not long after, maybe 2 or 3 months after, he came back with his wife. And I'll tell you, the wife came to every appointment with him prior, but she was literally there to just sign papers. Just sign papers. You could tell she was not really engaged. He was in charge, he was leading. Anyway, he came back that 2 or 3 months after getting everything done, and he said, everything you showed me, you got to show to my wife. I have a brain tumor. Boom.
Okay.
Right?
So that
just
was
like that.
That was going to lead me to my next question. A coworker of mine passed away recently. He was supposed to retire. He was 1 month away from retirement, and then he got real sick and passed away. So he didn't even get to enjoy his retirement. He didn't get to enjoy the money that he saved from the government, the years of service. He didn't get to enjoy that. He's been saving up, and not enjoying it. Now, here's the question. Everybody always says, oh, live life. You never know when you're going to die. You got to live your life. But living your life and then saving up for the future, how do you balance that out? Because remember, people always say tomorrow's never promised. You can't die with your money. So how do we balance that out?
Well, it comes down again to understanding the why of what you're doing. So yes, you're going to live a financially responsible life. That means, especially if you have children, you are properly insured in case you pass away before you're able to be self-insured. That's a whole other conversation. That also means you're saving up enough so that if the doo-doo hits the fan, you don't have to be borrowing necessarily, unless you have to, and that's just life happening sometimes. You're saving and you're being responsible with your financial decision making. What I don't like to see is when that saving or that retirement expectation comes at the cost of living a life that is full and rich. Now, when I say rich, I don't mean full of money, but a life with experiences that fill you up and fill your life bucket. So you want to take a vacation. So perhaps your money situation doesn't allow you to run off to Aruba and spend a week in a fully expense paid, all inclusive. It may not do that, but can you find $100 that will furnish you with a beautiful staycation where you can step away from some of the stresses, where you can take some time out and kind of create that bubble of self-care around yourself? I think it can. That's what I'm talking about when I say rich in experiences, a life that is rich in gratitude, and you can really take it all in. I mean, this is Canada. You don't even have to get on a plane to go and see a beautiful part of the country. If you can fill your tank with gas, you can go somewhere, take a deep breath, and breathe out with less stress. But a lot of times we don't factor these kinds of experiences into our financial planning, because all we're busy doing is money away, money away, money away, RSPs here, RSPs there, pension here, pension there, thinking in 20 years, I'm going to be living large. Well, maybe not.
Okay, so then here's what I'm going to ask. If my guests wanted to ask a question, please don't hesitate. Come on, we are taking phone calls. You're more than welcome to jump on as well. So I'm going to ask the first question. I have 2 kids, married to my beautiful wife. We have 2 beautiful kids. How do we spend to enjoy life and save? Do we write it on the board? Do we say, okay, this week is movie week, so we save? This week we're going to go for dinner, so we save away from that. How do we do that planning phase? Like, I want my listeners to get at least a good tip to start off with you. How do we start?
Okay, so understanding, of course, that everybody's situation is unique, I'd say take a look at what you're doing with your money now. So I don't create budgets. I like to call them cash flow plans. I prefer to refer to them as cash flow plans because it typically appreciates or helps us appreciate there's an ebb and flow to how money comes through us. It comes in and it goes out. So cash flow plan, create a cash flow plan that one understands what money's coming in and how. Not just how much, but how. How are you earning? What does that mean? How much is coming in? And then let's talk about the life that you want to create. So in my client work,
okay, hold on.
I don't even.
Sorry to cut you. I'm just writing this all down because I want my listeners to that, so we can break it all down. Because you said something that's different. You said not money coming in, but how? Isn't that the same thing?
So it's how you earn your money. So I'll tell you why I say how.
Okay.
I see a lot of people who earn a lot of money, but they hate the work they do.
Okay.
So how you earn your money, I believe, has the potential to poison every cent of money that you earn. And think about yourself or maybe somebody you know. If these people work hard, they hate their jobs, they're never satisfied with the life their money creates. Think about it. Never satisfied, no matter how much money. They think, okay, if I just get another bonus or if I just get the next raise, that's going to really set me up. Once you hate the work you do to earn your money, that money does not create the life that you want. And I challenge anybody on that.
Okay. And now I'm understanding, because you can have a great job and the money's coming in, but if you don't feel excited and energetic about going into this job, you're not working with yourself to make more or financially more or do things, because you're just in an everyday job 9 to 5.
It's almost as if you resent the money you earn because you're doing something you hate.
Gotcha.
And that actually flows into how you spend your money. And that's why I do math and mindset, Charles. It's not, if you've tried budgets, if you've tried spreadsheets, if you've tried envelopes, if you've tried all this other stuff and it's not working, you have to go beyond. And that's why I look at, well, are you actually enjoying what you do to earn your living? Is there something in there that's just messing you up because you fundamentally hate your job? And no matter how much money you earn, you're not going to ever get the life you want out of it. So it might mean some people have to put away fear and go back to that thing that really lit them up and take a chance on yourself. I always say, when you add purpose to your plenty, you always have more than enough. And that's deep. That's a whole other phone call. But when we're doing the things that we were put here to do, the money comes and the money is never short.
Okay. So
but you have to be brave to do that.
Right. Okay. So the first part is knowing where the money's coming from and how. Okay. So that's part number 1. Number 2.
Yes. Second, I'd like everyone to create a compelling picture of the life that they want to create. So before we even look at how you're going to spend your money, look at the life that you want to create. What are the important things in your life that money can buy? What are the things that will really, if part of a journal that I do most mornings says, what would make today great? What can your money do for you that would help to make your life great? And asking yourself that question will help you paint a picture that really a picture that shows what you want your life to be. Once you have that picture clearly, the next step is to look at, well, what do I got now? What am I working with at this point? Am I close to this picture? And that's where we get into some of the math. We start looking at, how am I spending my money now? Am I talking about wanting a down payment on a house, but spending all this money doing something else? Could I be making some different decisions that could help make that picture become a reality? So then you look at how you're spending. Because I see a lot of people start with the budget. They start with the numbers and they say, okay, I'm only going to spend $25 at Starbucks, and I'm going to cut my cable down to the base package, and I'm going to do this, do this, do this, do that. And they don't realize that, well, you kind of really enjoy Starbucks, and you're going to feel very resentful if somebody said to you, cut Starbucks. So perhaps that's not the thing to do. Perhaps Starbucks is part of the picture of that life that you want. No judgment, right? So you really need to look at what that picture is and where are you now. So look at where your money is going now. So typically how I would do that is take a download. Most people swipe. Not many people use cash. So we would simply do 30 days of transactions, incoming money and outgoing. So income and expenses for a 30-day period. That is what we would call normal, right? So that means we're not looking at December because Christmas is around the corner. We're typically not looking around at birthdays or summer holidays necessarily. If you have children, spending tends to move a little bit outside of the norm in those times. Pick a month where your spending would be kind of normal, or as close as normal as you would get,
Right.
as well as your income being normal.
You don't have any birthdays, or anniversaries, or any extra stuff that's coming out. Okay.
Yeah. So pick one of those. I had a friend that had 5 weddings in the last spring, summer. I'm like, yeah, not that much.
No,
not that time frame.
Definitely not that one. That's a lot of popularity.
You know what I mean? Like,
what's going out. All right.
It's definitely skewed, but take a normal month and look at, I have a template that I use, but look at where your money is going in that normal month. You will see patterns start to show up. You will see allocations where, let's see, I'm thinking of a client here. I have a client who is single, no children, who was spending about $1,000 on groceries a month. That her normal month came up as about $1,000 on groceries. So what was the conversation? This young lady, no, hers was about $700-800 on groceries. This young lady had a dog that she valued very much and was feeding organic, as well as herself, who, yes, she is vegetarian.
Okay.
And she's vegan. She's vegan, organic, whole foods all the way.
Right.
So for this single person, that on the outside looking in, you'd think that is a lot of money to spend on food for one person. Even one person and a dog, that's a lot of money.
Right.
But she has a driving desire to fuel her body well, to take care of the environment and this earth. So she's vegan. That's what she's done.
Don't you love? Don't you love when things are healthier for you, you spend more money?
Can you imagine, Charles? I'm like, why does it have to cost so much? Seriously.
A great piece of chicken, healthy chicken, is going to cost more, but I can get 3 burgers, a pizza, and thing for way cheap. Yeah, I know.
Way less money. Isn't that just the thing? It's I look at them as investments in my overall health and well-being. So you know what? I have a bit of a sick sense of humor, but I every time I look at the organic stuff, I'm like, oh, it's so great. I'm gonna feed myself and all this organic stuff. My body is healthy, and I'm gonna walk outside and get picked up by a truck, and there goes me with my healthy body dead.
You gotta go well, right?
That's
Good.
right. That's right. But yeah,
And
it's the choices that we're making. So you'll see things
listen,
show up.
right. So here it is. On your website, I see a couple of things. I wanted to make listeners to know that it's not just you personally. You have an online academy,
Hmm.
3D money. Like it's something that you can go online, and there's something there you can go online and you find out how you can use your money, spend your money. It's there as well. Money
Hmm.
Navigator program. You have different programs that we can tap into.
That's right. That's right. And that's my one-on-one. So the Money Navigator programming is my one-on-one coaching where everything's customized for you. Everything, it's you and me and a journey together. That's my happy place.
All right. Before I let you go, please tell everybody your website so they can get a hold of you and a contact number.
Sure, for sure. You can find everything about me online at hadrianaleo.com. And for everybody, the H at the front was not a mistake. It's hadrianaleo.com with one N. You can find me there. I'm on all the social media, but you can reach me by phone. I'm very warm and I love conversations. So 416-856-5931.
All right. And I'm going to actually add her website and her phone number in the links below. So if you don't have a chance, you can definitely go on to jumppodcastshow.com. That's jumppodcastshow.com, and all of her links and the little secrets. After the show, I'm actually going to get a couple more secrets from her and put into the links below so you guys can help out. And then, yeah. But before I go, you said something earlier, and if people are just tuning in, they won't know exactly. But earlier, you said when you first came to Canada, you were one of those callers that called for duck cleaning.
Yes, Matt. Yes,
All right.
indeed.
I want to, because I get these calls all the time. I mean, like 24/7. I want to hear your conversation. So you're calling me right now.
Oh my goodness, Charles, it's so long ago. Okay,
All right.
go.
Do you remember your lines? Do you remember all those lines you had to do? All right.
Believe me, it was one of those things I was happy to forget, but go, let's do this.
All right. All right. Hello.
Hi, hello. Is this Charles Matthews?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hi, Charles. This is Hadriana, and I'm calling from ABC Duct Cleaning, and we have a wonderful offer for you. Our truck is in the neighborhood, and we have a great promotion going on right now that I think you should really consider. May I know how big your house is?
Oh my Lord. Okay, that was word for word. I get that all the time. I get
Oh
that
my God.
all the. You actually remembered it word for word too. Actually.
I don't know, man. I had to go to some dark place in my head to get that.
Well, it's great to see that anything is possible. You came from
Oh yeah.
making those phone calls to now helping people spend their money, which is a great thing. And what I love about it is just talking to you. You don't hold anything back. You're just real with them, and that's what I like. I like people that will help people, but you won't sugarcoat anything. And if you, like you said earlier, it's not about the money for you, because you said if there's a couple that I don't see that are getting along, I just can't help them. I'm out.
Oh no, I won't do that, man.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. It's about helping the people first. Money will come after.
That's right. You got it.
Well, I thank you so much for taking the time, and to all my listeners, thank you for listening to Jump Podcast. We try to do a show every day, so stay tuned. And thank you once again. Before I let you go, shout out anybody you want to say hi to.
Oh my goodness, my husband, he's listening somewhere, or he'll get the replay because he does have work to do. And all of my followers, my Money Navigator Facebook groupies, when you hear this is awesome. This is what it's all about. And my coach, Pink Coach Claudine Pereira, my masterminders, we're doing this. Woo-hoo, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Charles.
Have a great one, everybody. And remember, the money that you have is yours. Learn how to spend it, enjoy it, live your life. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you liked the show or have a comment, we would love to hear from you. Join our mailing list. And as always, check out our special deals links below. I hope this has inspired you to look at your life and jump. See you next week.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer. Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.